Hi, everyone. My name is Alexander Yin, and I'm from TCG Group. I'm the CFO of the company. And obviously, we're much younger than Nasdaq and also much smaller. But we have been growing during the past few years. And our first company was founded in 2005. Its name is Efficode. And nowadays, we have about 250 people in Efficode and about 50, 60 in ePassy. And last year, we made about, turnover-wise, we made about 90 million euro, and growing from the year before, 55 million. And this year, we're talking about, again, a 50, 60% organic growth. So our this year is estimated to be about 130 million euro turnover. And since most of you are the technical students and so on, and future entrepreneurs, firstly, I would like to share our story. How did we start from nowhere, a company to start growing from some very, very basic idea and growing into in a Finnish standard sizable business. And basically, our payments company or financial service company, ePassy, was founded in 2007. And the reason why we found this company was that at that time, Efficode, our software company, has about 20 people, and they're asking for sports voucher as a tax-free employment benefit. And this paper voucher was the only way in the market that's to give this kind of benefits. So when the employee of Efficode came to us, came to management saying that, hey, we want to have these kind of benefits through paper voucher, the management said, yeah, it's very important that we give the benefits so that our people start to move, start to exercise, to be healthy, and so on. But we claim that we are a software company, and at the same time, if we give paper voucher, we don't like this combination. So we decided, hey, what about we do something different? What about we put the payments through mobile phone? Of course, in those years, in 2007-8, smartphone was not that popular, so we started with the text messaging. And obviously, everybody was laughing at us at the time, saying that what's wrong with these people? Why on earth they believe at any time people will ever pay with mobile phone? And so that's how we started, from people's laughter and so on. And so far, currently, we're the biggest player in the Finnish market. We have almost 1 million users in this market. And on top of that, we have, this is how we started. And here's some of our customers, most of the big companies in the Finnish market. And just this is just our story, how we started a very simple idea and put it into action. Of course, when you ask, or you will ask, hey, how do you solve the problem? Do you have the customer first, or do you have the shops first that accepts your payments methods? It's always a chicken-egg problem. So we need to leverage this problem in the beginning. And nowadays, we have successfully solved this issue. And when we start to get bigger in the employment benefits side, we start to think that, hey, our platform can actually do much more than the employment benefits payments, because we strongly believe that, at least for now, when people go out, if there is only one thing that they would carry, that will be your phone. And then we start to think that, hey, what about if we do something else in the general payments as well? Of course, one challenge that we have is how do we have enough users in our ecosystem to pay with our general payments? Then we start to think that, hey, how about partnership? And then came a opportunity that I happened to meet the head of EMEA of Alipay, the Chinese payment methods. Nowadays they have active user over 700 million active users, meaning those persons who pay at least once a month through Alipay. So from this partnership, we certainly have some users. And then when Chinese tourists come to Finland, and we also want to solve their problem. There has been two major problems for Chinese tourists to come to this country for shopping activities. And the first one is that there is no easy way to make the payments. And traditionally, the only way to make the payments is through cash. And that's why Chinese tourists all around the world has a reputation to be the walking wallet. And this is actually an official definition even used by tourist boards in many countries. Chinese people are the walking wallets. And this obviously has caused a big trouble of security. In many places where Chinese tourists go, they are the targets from the criminals. And to show how severe is this problem, nowadays in Paris and Rome, there are even Chinese police patrolling the city to protect the citizens. And so we want to change this one. Firstly, we want to change the Chinese purchasing outside of the Chinese border to go cashless so that it's safer. And another thing we want to change is that previously when tourists, no matter they're Chinese or whoever, when a tourist from abroad come to this country, they have no clue at all what to buy and where to buy. I think we just need to confess that comparing with many other countries, Finnish shops and businesses are not that good in doing marketing. And however, with the help of mobile phone, we can solve this problem. We can do targeted marketing. For example, I have been asked many times, hey, what's the difference between a mobile payment and a card payment? If our shop accepts MasterCard and Visa or Chinese Union Pay, do we need to have a mobile payment? And obviously the answer is yes. Why? Because for a people that does not know what to buy and where to buy, we can put into the extreme situation that the people who go to a shop and buy something are the people who accidentally go to that shop and by accident found that they have something that they want to buy from there. Whereas if we put into the mobile way, this is also one of the reasons why the whole China is now going mobile, is that mobile phone can have the interaction with users. For instance, in Helsinki downtown, we can configure, and we have actually done it, a shop or a merchant. We can target what kind of people are the target customer of this particular shop. Let's say, for example, if the target customer is women between age 30 and 40, who have bought a lot of children's clothing. From mobile phone, from Alipay platform, we know who these people are. And we can make a circle, let's say, around if a person of this category enters 500-meter range of this shop, she will receive a push notification saying that, hey, there is this shop selling this product. And the user will see that, this is actually what I want to buy. So this is the beauty of mobile phone interaction with the customer, and they can lead customer to the shop. That's a really good thing. And together with Alipay, of course, we have made good progress in a Finnish market, and also we have helped Finland to do a lot of marketing in China, as this is one of the examples. And also we are pretty happy that we are actually the only mobile payments provider globally which has coverage from the sky to the sea and many places in between. This Finnair flight is also a very interesting story. It started from beginning of November 2016, when one day I had an idea that, hey, I thought nobody has done mobile payments in the sky. And I Googled it and verified my thoughts. So I contacted Finnair saying that, hey, I have this crazy idea. How about we do something together? And after 15 minutes, we decided, yes, let's do it. I agree with Finnair CEO and CCO. And they were asking, how about the timetable? I said, well, it needs to be before 28th of January 2017, which is less than 3 months, including the Christmas and New Year. And they asked, why? Because that's the Chinese New Year. I want to use the media. I want to use PR. Of course, I regretted so many times afterwards. I didn't know that how complicated system it is in a in-flight environment and so on. And I can say it's a highly regulated area, much more regulated than the financial sector. But eventually we did it. It took a lot of nights and so on because Finnair flights are always in the sky during the daytime. We need to use limited time when they are in the maintenance mode and so on in the airport to configure it. But we started the commercial 27th of January on the Chinese New Year Eve, which is 1 day ahead of schedule. We're pretty happy about that. And the commercial result of that was the in-flight sales in this Chinese route has more than doubled just because of a small change in the payment thing. And actually, how many of you have bought anything over 100 euro in a flying environment? Okay. How many of you have bought over 500 euro? No, nobody. We have seen many times over 2,000 euro transactions in a plane. And I have been very curious, what can people buy over there? Until one time when I was in a Finnair flight from Helsinki to Shanghai, I was sitting over there, of course, connected to the Wi-Fi and so on. I was checking. I saw there was a 2,000-something transaction on the same flight. I got very curious. And I thought, okay, my dream come true. So finally I can ask what's going on. So I happened to know the cabin crew, so I asked her, hey, can you tell me what's this about? And she said, well, do you see a cabin crew guy having 4 plastic bags with him walking to the front? I said, yes. She said, well, a gentleman over there, he was reading the Finnair magazine. On the last page, it says you can buy with Alipay. And he asked the cabin crew, is it so that I can pay with my Alipay here? And yes. All right. And this Itala cup looks nice. How many do you have? I want them all. And this chocolate looks nice. How many do you have? Bring all you have on this plane. And that's the 4 bags. And because those are too much to be put up there, they need to carry it to the front and to store it over there. And this is also a very, very interesting thing about customer behavior, because normally when we talk about technologies and so on, technology is nothing, in my opinion, without a business. And technology and business always needs to marry. And in the end, when we do business, it is always we do business with people. We need to understand people. We need to know that people have emotion. People have feeling. Actually, Alipay has done in their words, limited scope research. They interviewed 1 million users, asking, hey, what is the biggest reason that when you travel abroad, you pay with Alipay? They were expecting, and also myself, we were all expecting some answers like, this is so convenient, or hey, I'm getting used to it in China, so why not here, and so on. We were all expecting this kind of answer. But actually, to everybody's surprise, it's no. By far, the biggest reason is that, hey, we feel that we are valued. We feel the honor that, hey, now we Chinese people, when we go abroad, we see this one, which shows that the foreigners actually put a lot of value and they respect us and so on. That is the biggest reason. Nobody thought about that. But this is a good example. That's when we do business. We always need to understand that we are dealing with people. We always need to respect and to motivate people's emotion. And of course, we have learned a lot. We have learned the QR way. We have learned this and that. And also, we are expanding this cooperation. Now, as we speak, we are in the process of rolling out over 1,000 QR codes for Lahi Taxi, so that Nordea users can also pay with their Nordea Zero app in the Lahi Taxi. That will be done at any day now. I think Lahi Taxi probably has rolled out half of those 1,250 or 80 cars. And also we have a good pipeline of addition to this list. And also we have launched in Iceland. I think there aren't so many Finnish companies doing business in Iceland, but we did start it in Iceland a few weeks ago. And to our very big surprise, it was a very quick start. And people even buy hundreds of euros per transaction in optical shops in the airports, those places selling glasses. And I have no clue why. I think that's also people's emotion. And, well, China is, of course, very interesting nowadays. And I would say that it's more interesting if you go there. At the end of September, we have organized a learning trip to China with many of the Nordic financial institutions, with their C-level executives from Finland, Sweden, Denmark, Norway, and Iceland. These 5 countries, we went there all together. 52 people, I think, in the end. We were joking that if something happened to our bus in China, the Nordic financial markets will be hit somehow. And we went to Alibaba as a starting point, and then we went to Huawei, another Chinese giant company, and then we stayed there for a week, learning quite a lot about how China is utilizing the AI, the mobile payments, and so on. I have some examples later on. But this is just a few words about Alibaba. How many of you have not heard of Alibaba? All right. Great. And this is a picture of Alibaba as a group, who they are. And many people know Alibaba because of this e-commerce, AliExpress, and so on. Things are cheaper over there, of course. And but Alibaba in China is a big ecosystem. And last year, in the 18th anniversary party of Alibaba, the chairman of the board, Jack Ma, announced that from the GMV point of view, Alibaba is the 21st biggest economical entity in the world, slightly bigger than Argentina. From the financial sector point of view, and financial, the company that operates and owns Alipay is the engine inside the Alibaba group. And of course, it started with the Alipay as a payments method, and then it starts to evolve into a whole ecosystem way. This is also one thing that China is doing quite differently than the European countries. In this internet company in China, whatever they do, it's about ecosystem. How to build a platform that can serve more clients through partnership, through joint cooperation. Of course, everything needs to start from somewhere. These photos are on the left, it's the first item sold through Alipay as a payment, and the picture on the right side was how the bookkeeping or transaction was recorded during the first 2 years. It's a manual way. Of course, in the beginning, it's a hard start, and there was no that much computer involvement in this one. And of course, things has developed so that it's a bit harder to do this transaction recording in a manual way. These are the figures from last year, 11th of November. And during a 24-hour day, there has been over 25 billion US dollar transactions, and during a peak hour, the transaction volume per second reached over 250,000 transactions per second. And this is a few times bigger than what Visa has done in their lab environment. Of course, it's about technology. Alibaba has a big technology engine called Alibaba Cloud. And then, even though the name says it's cloud, but actually most of the technological IPRs and so on inside Alibaba Group are in this engine. If you are interested in deeper understanding of this one or working together more, we have a joint innovation center with Alibaba Cloud in Helsinki in our office downtown in Kamppi. But apart from that, I want to show some real-time example how China is using AIs and so on. And before showing this kind of fancy thing, today I received a bunch of material because we have a potential customer in this part of the world, in the Nordics, who are related to agriculture. So they sent us a project material for AI for pig farming. That's pretty interesting. That nowadays, of course, everybody is talking about AI and so on. But we in China, we want to do it in a very hands-on and on the ground way. That we use it in farming the pigs, and to determine what time is it, what's the best time for the mate, what's the best time for food and everything else. But regarding the financial sector, for example, Alibaba has this micro loan. It's up to 1 million RMB for a loan, and the promise of service is called 310, meaning it's 3 minutes to fill the form, 1 second to get approval, and zero human interference. This is the process. That people has a credit scoring. Of course, people already have. You have a personalized amount that you can borrow. You fill up this one and see what kind of payback do you want. You want a eco payback or eco principal payback or whatsoever, and then click the confirm button, and then input your password. This is, even though it's called a payment password, actually this is a reverse payment because you receive money instead of paying out. And then you put a verification code in it. And that's done. It says that we estimate you will receive the money on your bank account within the next 2 hours. And this is how it works, because this includes no human interference and so on. This loan can be very, very small. If we talk about the traditional banking sector, they can't do this very small loans down to 1 RMB, which is 15 cents in euro, because the application process will cost much more than this loan itself. Since we don't have much time, I just want to show this facial payment, which is also a pretty interesting thing nowadays in China. It's used nowadays already in many places in China. That people can just go to, for example, this is just one of the KFC. People go there, buy something, and a facial payment. Of course, this is the easy one, and this telephone confirmation is for additional security or accuracy. And there are other tricks to test if this system actually works. It's also there. What if we do things slightly difficult? It will be there. And then, since we Chinese are funny people, we want to do something ridiculous. And it also shows here. I think the next step will be to identify all those persons and then share the bill. That will be even more interesting. But that will be the next one. Since we don't have that much time, so let's just jump to the end. And also, I want to emphasize that we are hiring all the time. Yep.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
I'm sorry that we didn't have time to look all your very interesting presentation. The problem is that today all the presentations were so interesting that I didn't want to cut any of them. We have time for one very short question. The problem is that there is the choir coming in 2 minutes in this room. One very short question.
Yeah, how he identified that single person is that she takes the most space out of it. It check who is the closest to the camera, and it. Those has been those kind of easy problem has been solved, and the more challenging, which has already been solved as well in Alibaba, is the twins and so on. Of course, we have to admit that in facial recognition, technologies are developing and so on. For example, in Alibaba's facial recognition technology, it can quite accurately tell the difference between among the Chinese people, but for Western people, the database is not big enough. So there are always limitations.
Thank you. Thank you again, Alex. Thank you for the audience. I hope that you have enjoyed this Fintech seminar series. Thank you.